Welcome to the next video on software engineering. In this video, we are going to talk about functional and non-functional requirements covered under module 3 of the syllabus. So let us start. Software system requirements may be classified into two parts: functional requirements and non-functional requirements. As the name suggests, functional means directly related to the functions provided by the software. Okay. But if we talk about non-functional, it is not directly related to the functions, but indirectly it is going to say about the requirement that is really necessary for the implementation of the software. Okay, so let us go through one by one. Functional requirements. The functional requirements for a system describe what the system should do. Okay, so these are the statements of services the system should provide, how the system should react to particular inputs, and how the system should behave in a particular situations. So these actually expand the user requirements and are written for the system developers. Okay, these requirements depend on the type of software being developed, the expected users of the software, and the general approach taken by the organization when writing requirements. So ideally, if we talk about the functional requirements specification of a system should be both complete and consistent. So completeness and consistency. These are the two basic requirements for functional requirements. Okay, so what exactly these mean? Completeness means that all services and information required by the user should be defined. Okay, and if we talk about consistency, it means that requirements should not be contradictory. Okay, they should describe the system functions, their inputs, output. These are the basic things regarding functional requirements. Now coming on to the non-functional requirements. If we talk about non-functional requirements, these are not directly concerned with the specific services delivered by the system, okay, to its user. They usually specify or constrain characteristics of the system as a whole. So let us discuss one by one. These are constraints on the services or functions offered by the system. They include timing constraint, constraint on the development process, constraint imposed by the standards. They may relate to emergent system properties such as reliability, response time, and memory use. Meaning what? Dealing with the performance. Okay. Failing to meet a non-functional requirement can mean that the whole system is unusable. Okay. Non-functional requirements arise through user needs because of budget constraint, organizational policies, the need for interoperability with other software or hardware system, or external factors such as safety regulations or privacy legislation. Okay, so on this basis the non-functional requirements are further classified into product requirements, organizational requirements, and external requirements. Meaning what? How the product are going to be used, there are certain constraints for implementation. Organizational culture can also determine that how the software should be developed. External, like government regulations and policies, may determine how to use the software, how to develop the software in proper way. Okay, product requirements. These specify or constrain the runtime behavior of the software. So if we talk about product requirement, non-functional requirement, so runtime behavior. Okay. For example, performance requirements for how fast the system must execute and how much memory it requires. If we talk about this parameter, that is efficiency, performance and space, time and space. Okay. Reliability, usability, dependability, security requirements are all covered under this head. Next is organizational requirements. Under this, we talk about environmental requirements, operational requirements, development requirements. That is, these are the broad system requirements derived from the policies and procedures in the customers and the developers organization. So we are having two parties, client and the developer. Okay, so organization must have certain kind of culture for these policies and procedures, so they must adhere to that. Okay, for example, operational process requirements that define how the system will be used. Development process requirements that specify the programming language and the development environment or process standards to be used. So in this way, organizational requirements form one of the important non-functional requirements. Next is external requirements. Here you can see regulatory requirements, ethical requirements, legislative requirements, in which you can say safety, security requirements, privacy requirements, accounting requirements. So all requirements that are derived from factors that is external to the organization or external to the system and its development process. Okay. These may include regulatory requirements that set out what must be done for the system to be approved for use by a regulator, or if we talk about ethical things, what exactly ethical requirements states that they ensure that the system will be acceptable to its users and the general public. If we talk about legislative requirements, that must be followed to ensure that the system operates within the law of a particular country. Okay, so these are the external non-functional requirements. So we have seen that if we talk about non-functional requirements, if we don't fulfill these requirements, then the product developed will be unusable. So basically we have classified non-functional requirements into three parts: product requirements, then organizational requirements, and then external requirements. References are these. Thank you for watching the video.